What's going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to come to you this afternoon and bring you a little bit of Jesse Lee's radio show from this morning. And in this clip, he is talking about diversity, equity, inclusion, and how we're really kind of going down the wrong way because we're all worried about virtue signaling. We're all worried about making sure that we appear to be equal instead of actually basing things upon merit. And again, man, it's not that we shouldn't allow all people into things. We should. And again, there's equal opportunity under the law. But again, we don't need to have quotas based on race and gender and everything else. People need to be the most qualified to get into institutions, to get into to jobs, instead of basing it upon external factors, other like race or like sex. But anyways, guys, if you would please like and subscribe to my channel. And here's the video.
It's no longer about the best person, the best man for the job. It's about what color or what sex or what they are into. They don't have to be qualified. We just saw this happen on the U.S. Supreme Court, where they put a black woman on the U.S. Supreme Court, unqualified, dumb as a doorknob, wouldn't know her north from south if you didn't point it in the right direction. And yet, she's on the U.S. Supreme Court because of her color and because she's a female. And
you know what, guys? I don't know exactly what her, I know she's a judge, so I'm not going to say she's totally unqualified, but I think the woman is extremely dishonest. Again, if you can't objectively answer the question about, I think it was, can men get pregnant or I'll have to go back and look at it, but if you can't answer that, if you can't honestly answer questions about basically what is woman, what does a woman mean, can you answer that question? If you can't answer that question, you're fundamentally being dishonest, and you're definitely aligning yourself to leftist beliefs. And if you're doing that, how objective can you be in your position? Again, if you cannot answer a really a quite straightforward question, a simple question, how, and you have to answer in such a way to not offend the left. Doesn't matter what's true or not. You can't answer a question because of the left. You don't want to offend the left. Then I think you're disqualified from being able to serve. Really. If you can't answer a question, because right there you're showing that you're unwilling to state something that you know to be true because of political affiliation. And that, to me, man, is number one. That is definitely, yeah. So I agree with that. It's more about making sure that we look a certain way. And I've said it before, man, it's about how we look as, some virtue signaling, not about actually being virtuous. And, I think that's the problem. What's going on is people are more concerned about how they look instead of who they are, instead of the content of their character. They're more concerned about how they present themselves.
And as a result of that, my country is going to hell in a handbasket. It was like when they elected the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama, for president because he was black. Not because he was qualified at all, but because he was black. And look what happened. Look what happened. The country is going to hell in a handbasket. And it has gone downhill so fast it makes you want to holler. The races are more divided than ever before in the history of America. Think about that. Before slavery, before anything, we're more divided than any other time because of Barack Obama and the media, the liberal media. And it has not returned. And yet you keep putting unqualified people in position to run our country. And then we hear this thing that white people numbers are going down. And in a few more years from now, they're going to be the minority in their own country. And we have people taking over as a result of that can't build their way, can't find their way out of a cotton sack. And you think the country's going to get better? It's not going to get better. And then, unfortunately, the white people in their own land is afraid to protect their own land. They did the same thing in South Africa and other parts of Africa. They gave it over to the blacks, and those places are hell. Oh, hell. It's just mind-blowing. And another thing about...
Man, I don't know. I don't like to comment really on race stuff. I mean, I do somewhat, but I try to, I don't want to say that black people are unqualified or anything like that, but I don't want to generalize anything because I definitely don't believe that. But I do want to say that right now we seem to be putting people in positions because of their skin tone or their gender, and whether or not they're actually qualified to do the job. And I feel the way also with affirmative action. I mean, if you're qualified to get into that that institution, if it's Harvard, like the lawsuits that have been going on with Harvard, if you're qualified to get into an institution, you should be. You should. Everything should be taken the same. The same qualifications for white people need to be the same for black people. It needs to be the same for Asians. We don't need to have quotas, based on race. It's not. It needs to be based on merit. And I feel the way. Again, man, we have people in companies that can do the job. That's all, that same thing with government. People that can do the job. I mean, I definitely don't think we need to worry at all about filling quotas anymore. I'm sick of that stuff. That stuff's got to go because we're just gonna get ourselves down. We're gonna end up shooting our own foot off. We're too busy trying to please people instead of actually, if I have no care in the world who is in power, who goes to schools, particular schools, who gets into the colleges and universities, and and who's in positions of power. But they need to have merit. It needs to be merit based. It needs to be based upon their grades, their achievements. Not based on their gender or their skin color. I mean, that kind of stuff, man, is it's for the birds. It really is.
About it is that the blacks, not all, but most, they have no shame about it. They know that they're getting these positions not because they're not qualified, not because they're qualified, but because they're not qualified and because of their color. Isn't that amazing? Mind blowing. Well, listen to this. And I've said before that they're setting the country up where it cannot get better. So the world, the country is not going to get better. You can just forget it, throw that out. It ain't going to happen. It's been set up so it will not happen. The enemies of good, the enemies of God is making sure of that. This is from the Daily Caller. Starting in 2025, the American Bar Association will no longer mandate that law schools require a valid and reliable admission test as a part of its application process. After feedback from a public comment period suggested that dropping the testing requirement will increase diversity. So dropping the test requirement will increase diversity, meaning that dropping the test, that more blacks can get in now because there's no test. And so the qualified people will not be able to get in. It doesn't matter that you work hard to pass the test. You're not going to get in because you're too qualified.
Okay, I'm going to cut the video right here, but yeah, I wanted to, really kind of bring this to the forefront because to me, that's concerning. The fact that, we're going to have more diversity if we get rid of the requirements, because we're going to have people that don't, obviously from all walks of life, but we're going to have people, it's going to be diverse in the fact that we're going to have people that are not only unqualified, but having a work ethic. They're not concerned about making good grades. They're not concerned about studying. They're not actually concerned about doing the work that's needed. So again, man, it's like we're trying to make things equal. We're more concerned about making things equal than we are concerned about making things right. And I think, man, that's what my problem is right there. And that's where I agree with Jesse. To me, it's not, anything to do with black and white. I mean, I understand what he's saying about the race stuff and everything. And it's like, I don't want to really get involved with that, but I just want to say, man, that we're going down the wrong path. We're going down the wrong path where, we're choosing people based on their gender and their color and whatever. And I definitely think there should be There should be people of color. There should be people, women, whatever, to be in positions of power, but they need to be qualified to do so. I don't think there should be a white man in power or a white man, in law school or as a lawyer or something that's not qualified to be there. I don't want any admittance of white men to universities if they're not qualified to be there. It has nothing to do with skin color or gender to me, not at all. So, yeah, I mean, to me, again, man, it's scary because I see this as the downfall of our society. We're gonna crash, guys. We're gonna crash. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. And if you would, please like and subscribe to my channel. You son of a.